All right. I guess I should start off by saying welcome to life coaching classes and videos by Universal Recovery 360. I'm your host, Pernell Bazin. As you can see, the buildings behind me and the way I'm dressed, I am no longer in Florida. I am officially a Brooklynite again. And the problem with that is it is cold. Nevertheless, today, this is going to be a version of knowledge of self, but a particular form. You know, in the beginning, when those books were written and all that shit, right? They didn't have projects like this. They didn't have 3,000 people per block. They didn't have to work to eat. They could, live off the land, right? So, speaking things into existence was a lot easier, right? I know a lot of people, right, do that power of prayer and learning how to connect with nature and all that shit, and life still fucked up. Well, look at all the people in the churches that don't have money. They give their money every week for a financial blessing because they need to live. They need to eat. They need to feel some sense of freedom. So when I hear people say, just start speaking positive, that shit pisses me off. Right? Especially when they say they got it from some books where way back then none of this shit was here. Right? No government like this. Right? No, nothing saying if you come over here you need to be a part of us. Nothing saying you better pay taxes, you better get a job, or you're gonna be out there on the street eating out the garbage off the ground. Concrete streets and all that shit. That stuff wasn't around back then when those lessons were taught. So when I hear people say it, it pisses me off. Because you got, especially you fuckers with millions of followers, because they're gonna do that shit. And it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. You gotta find better systems, man. Right? And one thing I'll tell you, right, is life is not situational. Right? It is dictated. Right? We just see it as situational because we deal with one thing at a time, one situation at a time. So we call it situational. But it's not meant to be situational. It's meant to be free, right? It says, right, eat, drink, and be merry. How many people you know like that? How many people you know could just do that? Today. Not back then, today. Y'all gotta wake up, man. Y'all reading these books, right? Getting all this information, creating all these goddamn series, this shit, part 1, part 2, part 187. Because y'all want money. Because y'all want to be able to eat, drink, and be merry. The problem is, y'all do that at the expense of your fellow man. Right? That's what we do. We turn them into shit so we can eat. You full yet? This shit's crazy, man. Well, you gotta stop. And you people gotta stop listening to them. Right? The only thing you can do is get to know you. I know y'all think Kanye, a lot of y'all think Kanye crazy because he say he God. But I'm going to tell y'all a secret. Something he probably learned recent that I've known for a while now. White means purity. Purity means God. God means ruler of the land. That's it. So, of course, Kanye is ruling his land. That makes him a god. According to the principle, right? According to the principle. And you hear him say it, I'm the God of me. And when he says that, he's saying, you don't rule me. You don't rule me. I rule me. I say the same thing. I just don't say I'm the God of me. What's the difference? I control me. There was a time when I didn't know that. Knowledge of self gave me that. But I control me. But there was a time when this fucking system controlled me. I fell right into that shit. I ran like a motherfucker and I messed my whole fucking life up. 17 years old military because I was bad at school. Didn't pay attention. Super smart. Boarding school. So she took me out, signed me up for the military. 3 weeks in, found out I had sickle cell. Discharged me. Tried again to the Army. They said the reason they discharged you then is because by the time you're 21, you are going to be of no use to anyone. And then they assigned me a permanent physical rejection, PPR. Permanent physical rejection, so I couldn't try to apply no place else. So when I was 17, I thought my life was over at 21. Do you understand the power in that? What a 17-year-old that grew up in the project is going to do if he only got 3 years left? And he didn't learn anything in the first 17? I had more felonies before I was 21 than I knew what to fucking do with. Right? Because I fell into the system. Because I didn't know me. I only knew what they said, what he said, what she said, what the people around me did, what they said. That's all I knew. So you can't tell people, right? Just speak shit into existence. There is a point when the shit is over for people, right? I'm not talking about the ability to feel free. Because I'm 59 years old now, right? They told me I would be of no use to anyone by the time I'm 21. Then when I was 30, they said, be grateful you made it that far. And then when I was 40, they said most people nowadays are living to 55, and now I'm 59, right? But I followed their directions. Can't you tell? I remember every fucking thing they said, right? And I lived according to their rules. You got to find your rules. I got to find my rules, right? My rules can fit this society. Right, can fit within their rules. If their rules are God conscious, yes. But my rules have to be God conscious. Alright, I don't give a shit about money anymore. I don't give a shit about future anymore. I don't give a shit about the past anymore. I use it as a weapon to fight for the future. But what I do give a fuck about is me. Today. For a long time I didn't. Because I followed someone else's way of thinking. I'm sure people can identify with that. So no. If you're in a crisis, prayer and meditation will make you feel better, but it won't change the outcome. You have to do that. The one thing I learned about prayer and meditation is that they are for thanks and for peace, right? If you want something to change, you have to do it, right? Sometimes it can't be changed. But if you're not willing to try, then you'll fall into the system. And you know, I know a lot of people call this thing the system, but nobody actually says what the system is. Well, I'm going to tell you what the system is. Look at your environment. You the big houses around you. If the big houses around you, you're going to grow up in school feeling less than or overpowering other kids. Right? If you grew up in a neighborhood where there's 4 houses per block, you might feel a little more comfortable because you're going to grow up with neighbors. Right? If you grow up in a neighborhood with 15 houses on one side of a block, right, then you're going to grow up more middle class, general, right? But if you grow up with 3,000 people per block, you most likely growing up poor. Literally, by the standard of finance, right? But those scriptures y'all talk about that says give positive affirmation tells you that poor is a mind state, right? And that's what I mean by falling into the system. I grew up poor because they told me that's what I was doing, right? I'm still financially poor today, but spiritually rich. Spiritually rich. Like, at this point in my life, I could say safely, I'm satisfied with my end result. I'm satisfied. If I died tomorrow, or after this video, or during this video, God knows when, right? I'm satisfied. Because I lived, I learned, I changed in the manner of a child to an adult. That's it. Because people don't change here. What they do different redefines them. So I went from a child and become a man. I've helped people. I've sacrificed. And in my heart of hearts, because you know you got more than one. Everything runs in threes. I have done more good than bad. Yeah, it's another scripture that I trust, right? I don't trust all of them. I trust statements like, let your good deeds outweigh your bad deeds. And just for the record, when the shit says there are none righteous, not one, that is because according to true knowledge, right? You can't just become one with God by speaking about him, right? In order to align with Allah, it has to be done mentally, physically, and spiritually. words, thoughts, and deeds, right? Not just actions. Words, thoughts, and deeds have to align. And no one thoughts are perfect. Only if they know the difference between the ones that come to them and the ones they create, right? Because you could be in a room full of crazy shit, right? And something will come to you. Watch out. But in reality, there's no issue. Right? The room full of craziness caused that thought to create, right? You didn't create it. It came to you. There's a difference, right? So when your thoughts and your words and your deeds fall in line, right? Then they say you are one. Right? But most of us think just because of what we do and what people don't know, that makes us righteous, right? You see them on TV talking all that good shit, then one day you hear they done did some crazy shit. You're like, what the fuck? Because no one, not one, can go without having a negative thought, can go without, right? Emotion, can go without, right? Letting something overpower them to the point where they say shit like, I can't fucking stand you. Right? That's not righteous. It's a simple fucking statement. Simple. Right? Only if you understand the rest. And you motherfuckers ain't learned nothing about self. Y'all just reading shit and telling people shit. Stop. Study yourself. Take the information you're reading, apply it to you. Stop with the bullshit. I can't tell you this enough, man. The system is designed for us to kill ourselves. The system is designed for us to stay in poverty so that they can stay on top. Because if we don't support them, they get nothing. Right? And I know you think, but the rich people run the stock market and all that shit. But if you don't buy shit, they don't have stock in shit. So they don't run nothing. They just got you convinced you need everything. Right? They got more fucking stores selling Gucci, Prada, and all this $2,000, $3,000 shit for sale for $600, $700. That's still a fucking paycheck for people. Y'all know it. These motherfuckers walking around with pocketbooks cost more than they rent. Cost more than a car. And they on the train. Because they fell victim to the system instead of learning about themselves. You go to school, do you learn about yourself? No. You learn about everything else. The system. You are trained, right, to protect the system. So am I. But I make the final decision today. They don't. The system doesn't. And today, I don't give a shit about your money. I don't give a shit about your power. If you disrespect God in me, the righteous in me will fight back. Right? I love, right, my freedom. And I don't have shit to do with it. Right? But it's mine. Not the systems. Not the government's. Mine. I'm going to cut this because I need to try and upload it to more than just one place. But I want you guys to remember this shit, man. All these people on TikTok and YouTube telling you about positive affirmation ain't nothing different from that damn preacher in that damn church. And you see what's happening to them. They all starting to admit they just wanted the money. Started out wanting more, but they fell victim to the system. They became homosexuals and preachers for profit. And they get on TV and brag about their jet planes and TV shows about billionaire preachers. Shit. Simple, people. Learn to love yourself. Right? If those evil motherfuckers that all they want is money, that got so much money they don't need no more money, could learn to love themselves, I guarantee you they do something. They do something about this shit. And it'd be a better world. But nobody wants to get to know themselves. All they want is money, money, money. Because money, contrary to popular belief, can buy visual happiness. Can't buy internal happiness. That's why motherfuckers say money can't buy happiness. Right? On the outside, the motherfucker look happy. Next thing you know, this nigga done committed suicide. I'm sorry, I'd have picked up on something else. I'm sorry. I know I said I was going to end this, but you get the point, right? You get the message, hopefully. Right? Stay true to yourselves. Right? Peace.